So now we're ready to try some hands-on stuff, but before we try the hands-on stuff, we have to pick up where we left off with GitHub. And so last week at GitHub, we created a new repository. Make sure I closed my server, it did not. And we did that by just going to our repositories and clicking New Repository. And then I had you call it CIT90, you all remember? So we created that repository. And I'm also now in my Go workspace. I'm going to go to Source, GitHub, goes to 11, which is my GitHub username. I'm going to create a new folder and call it CIT90. So exact same naming. It does not have to be the same name, but it is just clear if you do it that way. So you have your GitHub repo you created, CIT90. And I created a folder, CIT90. Okay? Now I'm going to do two things. You guys want to do that part? Why don't you do that part and then we'll do the next part together, okay? So if you don't already have a username here because you haven't brought anything down, that's fine. Okay? So let's see, how are we going to do this? So just let me think. Hold on, I gotta think this through for a second. All right, this is what we're gonna do. Is in GitHub right here, you'll create a new folder with your GitHub username. Make sure the capitalization is precisely matching yours, and then inside your GitHub username, create the folder that matches the name of the repo you just created on GitHub.
So in our workspace, right?
Yeah, in your workspace, under github.com. If you don't have a github.com folder, create that. And then under github.com, create your username folder, right? So it's Go Workspace, Source, github.com, username, and then a folder CIT90.
Can we just do a git clone?
Okay, so the next step is we need to, what we've just done is we've maybe created a folder with our username on GitHub, and then also inside that folder with our username, we've created, the folder of the same name as the repo we just created. So that's all under our workspace, source, GitHub, our username, the repo name. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a git ignore file to this, which will tell Git not to track certain stuff. And to get that git ignore file, I'm again going to go to GitHub and go to goes to 11, so GitHub Todd McLeod. And then I'll go to just the Golang web repo, which is my web repo from last semester. And then here's a git ignore file down at the bottom, so it's a current one. And I'm going to click that file and then click raw. I'm going to copy this. Okay, just Control C. And now I could go to any way I want to create that file and save it in my new folder is fine. So I'm going to just go to go up a few levels here and change into CIT90, and then I could do nano and .git ignore. All right, so if you're on Windows, this probably won't work. Nano doesn't work even if you have an emulator. And so you'll just need to create it in WebStorm and save it in that folder. So you could also just create it in WebStorm. So one way you could do it would be this way. I'll also do it the WebStorm way. So in WebStorm, I'll open up. In WebStorm, I will open up that folder. So that folder is located in Documents. Go Workspace, Source, GitHub, and it goes to 11, CIT90, so open that up. And now I could create a new file here, File New. Oops, I'm just going to right-click right here, right-click New File. I'm going to call it .git ignore. It's git ignore, right? That's the name of it? Yeah, .git ignore. .git ignore, so that's what I'm calling it. Okay, .git ignore. Okay. And I'm just going to paste in all that stuff right there. And if you're not using WebStorm, you could delete all this WebStorm stuff right there. And if you want to comment anything out, you just put a # in front of it. So we don't need that stuff. We don't need this. Because, you know, if I don't want to ignore images, I take the # off. Or so those would be, I got to think double negative here. So the MP3s and MP4s are being ignored. PNGs and JPEGs aren't. I'll just leave these in case anything ever comes with those. We'll ignore those. So that's the gitignore file. So create your gitignore file, and you should, you know, have that in the root of your directory, and then we'll do the next step after you've done that. So now that we have our gitignore file in there, if you've already used WebStorm, so let's now navigate to that folder and do an ls-la, and you should see gitignore, and that's it. If you see the .ida folder, close WebStorm, just quit it, and then remove recursively with force .ida. That's just WebStorm keeps track of files. Let's just get rid of it. And now you should have LSLA, and it should just look like that. Okay, and then you're going to run a git init. And when you run git init, it's going to initialize it as a git repo. So it will look like this now. You'll have a .git, and you'll have a .gitignore. So that's what you need to do next. So do that next step and get your directory structure looking like that. And you got to do a git init to get it to look like that. So now when we created our repo, we got these instructions. And part of these instructions were to run git init. And then the rest of the instructions were to add a file. And then we were going to do some commit and this stuff. So we still need to do these last three here. So we are now going to do a git status. So let me just clear this out. Git status. And it should say there's an untracked file. Anybody not have untracked file when you type in git status? So up there at the top I typed git status. And then did you all see that? Now you're going to do, you don't?
No.
Okay, I'll come to you in a second. Just watch this and then I'll come. Let me come now. Hold on. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to do a git add -- all. And this adds your untracked files to a staging area, staging index. Then you're going to do a git commit. Oh, you add them. So then add them, and once you've added them, come over here and copy this. This line right here, git remote, add origin, get a GitHub, ... And you're going to paste that in. And then you're going to come over here and you're going to do git push u origin and paste that in. And master does not match any, failed to push some refs to ... Git status. Let me troubleshoot this. Git. Oh, git commit -m first commit. So I need my commit message, and then I need maybe this one, and then I need the push. Cool. Git status. Git pull. So it's all connected. So I botched that smooth demonstration, but basically what you want to do is you had your git status and it said you didn't have anything, you had that one red file that's not tracked, so you did a git add -- all, and you did a git commit -m first commit. Yours is first. Dot only does from your point forward though, so all does the whole thing, but if you're at the top it's fine. And git commit first commit, and then you did this one right here, and you did this one right here. So that's what you do, and then you've connected your repo with GitHub in the sky. So as you add code, like right here, it's now going to be up there. Okay?
So when you do the commit, it's just a local thing, like?
Yeah, your Git and GitHub are two separate things. They both use Git,
Okay.
but you connect them.
So the last two lines actually submit the changes back to the.
Yeah.
All right.
Push them up to the server.